And still with our coverage here on Nile TV International and updates, and of course related to the parliamentary elections on the second day of voting in 14 governorates of the first phase of the 2025 House of Representative elections in Egypt. We are delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest, Dr. Ayman Ghonim, Professor of Economics. Dr. Ayman, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, madam. How do you do?
Fine, thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us this afternoon. Dr. Ayman, let me start by asking you about the importance of the participation of Egyptians. We are seeing Egyptians flocking to the polling stations since yesterday and continue to do so and will do so till 9 p.m. Cairo local time to cast their ballots. How important do you see people's participation and their understanding now of their need to participate in order to have their voice be heard?
Well, actually, the Egyptian Constitution, Article number 4, states that the people is the source of power, and the people must exercise their power through the practice of different constitutional entitlements and political entitlements, and the most notable of which is voting in the parliamentary elections, especially in the House of Representatives.
Yes.
Because as we know, Egypt has a bicameral parliamentary system.
Yes.
The House of Representatives is the lower chamber of the parliament and is entitled to provide the government and to legislate laws, whether to suggest or to amend or to approve the laws.
Absolutely, Dr. Ayman. Also, we're seeing different demographics participating as we've spoken to most of our correspondents from different governorates around the country. Many elderly people are very keen to go cast their votes. Also, we're seeing participation by Egyptian youth as well as a large attendance by Egyptian women. How important do you see this range and diversity with regards to the demographics of the people taking part in the elections and casting their votes?
Well, actually, the Egyptian political system emphasizes the importance of participation and inclusiveness. And we've seen the participation of different geographies, as you said, different age brackets, various classes, various professions. Also, the Egyptians abroad have been actively participating in the elections. And here I have to add that the new election law, it states that the Egyptians abroad, they have to participate physically in the elections. They have to be present and to vote in the embassies, because in previous decades they used to vote through mail, and so their votes could have been manipulated by other parties. But now the process is transparent and is fair, and that's why it encourages all the parties to participate.
Absolutely. And Dr. Ayman, these elections are under full judiciary supervision, which is very important. And also we've seen international monitors as well as local and civic society organizations all doing their rounds and taking a look at the voting process and the democracy of the whole voting process. How important do you see the judiciary with regards to the monitoring of this?
Well, actually, as we know, the political rights law number 45 for the year 2014, it organizes the elections process. It states that the judiciary, as you said, it has to will have to supervise all the steps and phases of the election, step by step, and this is also supervised by the National Elections Authority, that's headed and managed by judges. And as we know, here in Egypt, the judiciary is a totally independent authority, because our system, our political system here in Egypt, it fosters the separation of power through checks and balances. We have three distinct and independent authorities.
Yes.
We have the executive branch that's headed by the president and that's represented by the government, and we have the legislative branch that's represented by the parliament through its two chambers, and we have the judicial branch, which is totally independent, and it reports to the Supreme Council of Judiciary, And that's why the supervision of judges on all the steps and phases of the elections adds to the confidence that the people must have in the process, and this encourages all the sectors of the society to participate.
Indeed, and we are indeed seeing participation, as you mentioned, by the elderly as well as women and youth. And finally, Dr. Ayman, let me ask you about the collaboration between the different institutions to organize for the flow of a smooth election process, allowing voters to come, cast their ballots, and quickly, cast their ballots and leave. And this has been through the security forces' presence, as well as the steps taken by the National Elections Authority to prepare for these elections, to provide utmost assistance, presence of the police, policemen, policewomen, assistance of the elderly, the provision of needs for people with special needs, needs for people with disabilities. How important do you see this in order to allow everyone a chance, an opportunity to practice their constitutional right and cast their ballots?
Yes, as you said, Madam, the contribution of the security forces and the Ministry of Interior, as well as local governorates and authorities, is important in the administration of the process itself, and this is under close monitoring, supervision and administration of the National Elections Authority and supervised by judiciary. Here we have to also recognize and acknowledge the political awareness of the Egyptian people and their appreciation of the importance of participating in such elections.
Absolutely.
Especially that our election system it includes the benefits of both the voting for individuals and voting for lists. Because as you know, we have like 596 seats now in the Assembly, in the House of Representatives, including around 480 elected by individual and around 120 elected by list. So the 480 elected by individual seats, this fosters the close ties between the representative and his own district, while the 120 seats that are elected by a list, this allows the people, first of all, to elect based on a political program, and this also allows fair participation, especially for women, allows for the 25% of the seats to be taken or to be occupied by women. And also it allows the formation of voting blocks inside the assembly, and so facilitating to have majority and to vote easily on different bills, and to allow the government to pass the necessary laws and decisions. So actually the system itself fosters both the inclusiveness as well as the political efficacy.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much, our dear guest, Dr. Ayman Ghonim, Professor of Economics, and our guest for the afternoon. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and your insight, and for joining us. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up the afternoon's Panorama News, but do stay tuned for more updates coming your way. You're in the company of myself, Angie Meher, as well as Ayman Mukhtar. Thank you very much, Ayman.
Thank you very much, Angie. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay tuned for more updates on Nile TV International.